Well, good evening, everybody. Well, it's probably night where most of you are, I would say. I know it's night where I'm at, and it's definitely night where Chris B. Bacon is, because I think it's pushing. It's tomorrow where you are.
I was going to say it's the next day.
He's so far ahead that it's tomorrow, and on the East Coast, you've already been in tomorrow for a whole hour. Anyway, It's only 10 o'clock where I'm at, and we thank you for joining in tonight. This is the Four Bros Radio Show. Right now, that yours truly, J-Mac. I'm joined by my brother from another mother, everybody's favorite savory treat. That's right, Crispy Bacon.
How's it going, everybody? Everybody's doing well, and it'll be a great show tonight.
And we don't call him the greatest color man in the game for no reason. You know what's got me excited? What's got me excited, Chris? We were talking about your ice storm week last week, right? Well, we haven't had one of those up here in the Pacific Northwest all year, which, knock on wood, make sure we don't have one here at the end of February. But I was commenting yesterday to the people I work with. I know that I bitch about the rain a lot. I know that I complain about how long it rains here, but I have to tell you that Thursday, so yesterday here, it was 62 degrees outside. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. It was warm. It was nice. I was out marketing, business to business, meeting some business owners and talking to people. And I just wanted to be outside all day. It was a perfect day. So I do bitch about the rain a lot because the rain's not always great. But where else, other than maybe in Southern California, Arizona, and Florida, can you get a 63-degree day on a Thursday in February? Other than
not many
in the Pacific Northwest. Exactly. So I'm not going to complain too much about that because it was such a great day yesterday that it rained a little bit today, and I wasn't even pissed off about it.
I think everybody, though, complains about their particular weather every so often.
Well, I think so too, but the thing to remember is that the summer's coming, and I want to put this out there.
Yeah.
For any of you that are going to bitch about the summer, by the way, any of you that want to, Big B's with us, Double Dirty Big B, how you doing tonight, man?
Big B?
Yeah. Well, we don't have any audio from Big B, or he can't hear us, one of the two. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, anyone that wants to bitch about the summer, I will remind you that don't forget about what you went through in the winter to get to the summer. Please.
Well, it's like here in Texas, we complain in the winter that it's too cold and we want the heat. We get to summer and we complain that it's too hot. We want winter. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. It's kind of the way it is, I guess. Big B trying to join us. Let's see if he's got audio now. So Big B, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing okay. Gotta love these technical issues. But I'm here off work, ready to talk to all my guys. Chris, you look like you're about ready to go fly a plane or something, or get in a race car or something.
I know.
Do we got to add another job title to your resume there?
Right. Yeah, Big B, real quick. What we were talking about people that bitch about the weather, because I know that I do, and I do.
Oh, we all do.
It rains a lot here, and we all do. But I was telling Chris that yesterday, I was walking around, going business to business, talking to people, doing the insurance thing, and
Nope.
it was 63 degrees here, not a cloud
Nice.
in the sky. It was so nice outside. And then those days come, and I'm happy again for a few days. It was even raining a little bit today, and I didn't even care because they gifted me with that weather yesterday. Like you get a little bit of that vitamin D, and it just puts you back in a good mood.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying because we've been cloudy and cold here for the last couple of weeks, and probably since Christmas, it's just been cloudy and just cold. And then the last couple of days, it's been like mid 30s to mid 40s. Sun's out, the snow's melting. It's like, all right, finally get some sun. And now today, right now we're at 28 degrees. Of course, the sun's down, but that's
Right.
Minnesota life for us.
Yeah. Yep. So I have something I want to share real quick, Big B, because you're from the Midwest. I'm originally from the Midwest.
Okay.
And this is the most Midwest thing that I've ever heard in my life. Okay.
All right.
This was perfect. I couldn't have described it better myself. So the question was posed in a group that said, how do you politely tell your visitor it's time for them to go home? Okay. Think about that for a second. Here is what someone from the Midwest said.
Okay.
He said, well, if you're from the Midwest like me, you just say, welp, really forcefully. Then you slap your knees with your hands. Then you stand up. Other Midwesterners will get the hint and they'll be like, well, suppose we ought to be getting out of here.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, that's kind of true. Now thinking back, it's like, yeah, I've seen that actually, somewhat like that. But again, some of your closer friends, when you're single, it's like, well, I'm going to bed, if you guys leave, lock up, or else I'll see you in the morning, so, but, yeah, I don't know. I've seen people get up and start like cleaning up and changing, getting comfortable clothes, and still not getting the hint, and it's just like, all right, I think we need to go now, guys. Oh no, we're good. And the person's house, they're like, yeah, you guys need to go. I'm getting tired, So
no, I have seen it. I've seen it before. But it's pretty great. Being from the Midwest, I think that we had manners. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, we have manners. It's nothing.
Yeah, we got like a version of Southern manners 2.0 in the Midwest here, especially Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have the entire Southern hospitality.
No.
I mean, you go to someone's house in the South, you ain't leaving without eating. Like, that's just.
Yeah.
Some of the families here are like that, though. There's some areas where you walk in somebody's house, for the first time, yeah, you're not eating, or you're not leaving without eating,
Well, so I want to give a shout out tonight, to someone near and dear to my heart. It's my uncle. He goes by Unk. You guys you probably saw him with us at the Packer game when we were at the Packer game last year. Anyway, it's his birthday today, so we're giving a shout out to Unk today. Happy birthday, Unk. I think he's in his mid-60s now, something like that.
Hey, well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And Chris has something he wants to debut. Now, this is the first time. I mean, you're watching it live. This is the debut
of Chris frying bacon naked.
Right? No, this is the debut of the trailer.
Oh,
I couldn't find much, but
it's fine. We'll work on it. It'll be longer by the time the show comes. It's no problem.
Oh yeah.
But Chris, do you have the whole video for the whole trailer?
I'm trying to pull it up. I clicked on it. Oh,
Okay.
I gotta make it.
If you can get that pulled up, I want you to run it because it'll be the debut of the trailer for the brand new show that's going to debut next week. Do you know what show we're talking about, Big B?
Oh, yes, I do. In the Den with the Cougars.
Yes. So when Chris gets that pulled up, we'll have him show the debut trailer of the brand new show. It's going to be 8 Pacific, so 10 Central. Almost put you guys 2 hours behind us. 10 Central.
I should be able to join that on a regular basis, so that should be a good one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I can. Like I said, it wasn't much.
That's all right. That's all right. So we're gonna take just a quick second. We're gonna show it one more time because I want everyone to see it. We might show it a couple more times tonight, but Chris, I'm gonna have you show it one more time right now. Here we go. So there's the sneak peek of the brand new show, starting Wednesday the 15th. 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 Central, 11 Eastern, and 9 Mountain. We don't want to leave the Mountain people out. We don't want to make.
I'll leave them out.
We don't want to, we don't want to get any.
They don't have internet there anyway, so just leave them out.
Right. All right. So I have to give a producer credit to somebody for what I'm about to say. I'm about to ask you guys a question. And I'm going to give a producer credit to someone who works in my office. His name is Adam Murray. Thank you very much for this idea. But I have a question for Chris and Big B.
All right.
The question is, what gets easier to pick up the bigger it gets?
Ooh. What gets easier to pick up the bigger it gets? Well, it's not my wallet.
No.
We all wish that. We need a wallet, but
My weight?
I will tell you, you're on the right track with that last one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is?
Mm.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll pass, but
yeah, I'm not sure either.
I'll take half a credit.
You can take half credit. I'm going to say this really fast because I don't need pissed off people commenting on the show and sending me messages. So the answer to that question is, what gets easier to pick up the bigger it gets? That would be a woman. Now, we're going to move on to the next.
Oh, wow. I was not thinking that, but okay.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to dwell on that. Chris, how's the love search going?
Still on, I guess, on the search.
Well, you hear it. I mean, he's still out there. He's still single and ready to mingle.
So J-Mac, who, I mean, I know you brought up the whole Dragon Viper, trying to pick. You think it'd be easier to land Chris a woman or Dragon Viper a woman?
Oh, no. And Chris, this is not offense to you. I mean, no offense by this at all. I really don't. Let me. So, it's only tough because I haven't hung out with Chris in person.
Well, I know that's the whole thing, but we've worked with them for 3 years. I mean,
yeah. So I guess for me it would have to be I've watched Dragon Viper in action, and it would have to be Chris. It has to be. I don't know how it couldn't be because
I mean some of the stories he tells us, what he's done and stuff. It's like, hey, ladies, this guy's done this and this. I mean, you know,
Well, so
Right.
the reason I say that is because I'm gonna guess, Chris, that you would at least talk to a woman.
Yeah.
I know I've told you a bunch of stories about hanging out with
Mhm.
Dragon Viper and all of that. By the way, I want you guys to know that the stuff I say in the chat to him, it is true. Like those things have actually happened. Those conversations have actually taken place. He will never admit it, but I promise you it's true.
wow.
We were sitting in a group home working together, and another dear friend of mine, Rex is his name, was sitting in the group home with us when out of Dragon Viper's mouth came the words.
Uh-oh.
We said something about, well, why don't you go find the goat? And his answer was, well, we had a goat, but my dad had to get rid of it because it moved around too much. Those were his exact words in that conversation. Yes, I know what he meant by saying it, but you can take that completely out of context.
Yeah.
So that conversation did happen, whether he'll admit it or not. But Chris, I'm going to ask you. So you would at least talk to a woman because this is
that's step one.
That's step one.
Yeah.
Let me
Actually, step one would be to go somewhere, get the eye contact, and then go talk to him. So
Yeah.
step one B, I guess.
Okay, and I guarantee you that and I never like I don't toot my own horn per se, or I don't talk myself up a lot about a lot of things. But I do promise you one thing. I will be the best wingman you will ever have. Do you know why? Here's why I'm the best wingman ever is because I am totally 100% without a doubt off of the market. I am not looking in any way to take anyone home. And I'm very upfront about that. So if we ever went out and there's two of us and two women need someone to talk to, while you're chatting the other one up, I can sit there and have a conversation because I can just be honest and say, look, we're not going to end up doing anything. We'll just sit here and talk while they're hanging out and getting to know each other because I'm completely off the market. There's nothing. I'm not going to hit on you. I'm not going to make any moves, anything. And a woman will sit and talk to you forever knowing that there's no chance that anything's going to happen. And I mean, because I'll put you in those situations. But you know the other funny situations I can put you in? I'll make bets. And I'll win those bets because I can make it happen. I could tell you that I could walk over to a table of women and get a phone number, and I'd win the bet because I've done it before, and I did it with Dragon Viper, and he was pissed. But there's a key to it. There's just a way it happens. Anyway,
all right.
Enough about that. Chris is single and ready to mingle if anyone's watching. For that. Let's make a show out of this.
And he's a working man.
Big B, we got to make a show out of this.
We do. Yeah, we do. We got to do the C2C dating game or something.
Yeah. With the win a date with everybody's favorite savory treat.
Yep.
I think that'd be awesome. We could start virtual. You could do a virtual date for the first one. Why not?
There you go. Yeah.
It's kind of the way it goes. But you guys got any big plans for the Super Bowl being in 2 days?
Gotta work.
I can't imagine having to work at a casino during the Super Bowl. That's got to be awful.
Yes and no. I mean, I think it would be awful if like the Packers or Vikings or Bears were in it. Being that we're in Minnesota, but we'll still get our crowd. I mean, Sundays are normally dead anyway, so I'll be able to sit and kind of watch. I won't hear it, but unless I'm sitting up in my office on my phone, which hopefully I will be. But I mean, I'm not too. I mean, I'm hyped because it's the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, because there's different parts of it. But
sure,
I mean, who wins? It ain't gonna bother me. I think the Eagles are gonna fly high. But if it's a close game, I'm all for it.
That's kind of
So-
how I am.
You got the Eagles then.
Yeah, I got Eagles in a close one. Maybe like 3-4 overtimes would be nice.
Wow.
Well, I don't know
Chris,
if that
who
could
you got?
happen.
Chris, who are you taking?
I'm taking Kansas City. I feel like they can pull it off, and Mahomes is probably a little better than Hurts. He's been in what 2, 3 Super Bowls already, so
Okay. You got Kansas City. Do you
Mhm.
think it's a close game?
I'm thinking 37-30.
37.
Kind of where the script is at that I've been seeing flying around.
Allegedly. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that's got to be the dumbest thing ever, by the way.
Yeah, I agree.
And you know, the sad thing is if the score comes anywhere close to that, you know, people are going to be like, "See, told you it was scripted. They just changed the because it was leaked out. They changed the score. See."
Well, what I heard is that the number one bet on score in Vegas is 37-34
Yeah.
because that script came out. So now
Yep.
everyone's betting that that's going to be the final score.
Yep.
Watch it not be.
And if you bet that, you're an idiot.
Or you could be really rich, but yeah, I agree. That last one.
Well, no. The more it gets bet on, the least. I don't know how that works, but
No, you're,
I
you're
think
right.
the more it's bet, the odds go down.
Right, because there's more money in the pool.
Yeah.
There's more of a chance to win.
Yeah. I mean, I really hope it doesn't come. I mean, I hope it's a close game, and if that score comes anywhere close to it, we're going to hear so much about how the NFL scripted for Sunday on until the end of
The end
time.
of
I mean,
Yeah. And it came out at the wrong time. I mean, any time's the wrong time, but during the Super Bowl,
So what do you guys think Rodgers does? Is Rodgers done?
no.
man, I want to say yes because I just want the drama to be gone. You know, that's all he is. Now, if it was like a Brett Favre situation, it's like, okay, let him go somewhere else, play a year like Tom Brady. But, you know, all he is filled with drama right now. Let him go.
Well, Favre did that 2 times over.
That is true.
He went to 2 teams. But no, I think Rodgers is. I think he's going to Vegas. Be with Devontae Adams again, and you know, have a similar situation, and it would be interesting to see what that retreat will be that he'll be on.
Yeah, 4 days in the dark. I don't know.
It's not going to be in the dark. He's going to be seeing all kinds of colors and hallucinations, I'm sure.
Yeah, but the Ruby's in, I guess, is totally darkness.
My
So,
point was he'll probably be dropping acid before he goes in the room.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're the Pack fan. What do you think? And I know you're not an Aaron Rodgers fan, so
I'll tell you it's tough because the fact that we've had basically 2 quarterbacks
Yep.
for 32 years now, you don't want to see that go away.
nope.
Mm-mm.
But is it time to move on? Unfortunately, I think it is. And I think that
Oh.
part of that's going to be a rebuild. I think that's where we're at. And
I mean, and what's the likelihood of you striking a 3rd time in a row on a quarterback to play that long?
not very
I don't
good.
see it with Love. You know,
I don't
I don't
either.
see it with him either. but I do think he could be a serviceable quarterback. I do think that
Yeah.
he can win some games.
Yeah,
Chris,
you're going to rebuild.
Chris, I have a question. And my question is Dallas. Is Zeke in Dallas next year?
Yeah.
Really? Even with the way Pollard played this year?
Can you repeat that one more time? Audio broke up.
Is Zeke in Dallas next year, even with the way Pollard played this year? I mean, Pollard ran for 1,000 yards.
I was hoping no, but it sounds like he wants a pay cut, and it sounds like they can give him a pay cut. To stay, and I think they're also talking to extend Dak.
Why?
Wow.
Why, I'm not sure.
You got Danucci
something
there.
about the cap, I don't know.
Right. But do you – and
No,
I
I
want
think
you to
he's in
be
the
on, I want
XFL,
you to be
but-
I want you to be honest. Can the Cowboys win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott at quarterback?
I think he can probably, with the right pieces, maybe take him there, but I'm not sure if he'll win it.
Well, I mean, if we look at the last two seasons that the playoffs ended, the play calls were not the greatest to get there.
No,
I mean,
that's true. That's true.
I'm not blaming Dak. I mean, yeah, last year's was on Dak. I mean, he probably
Mhm.
could have done something different, but yeah, this past year's, what were they thinking?
I think that was on Moore. Kellen
Yeah.
Moore, I think he's like, we're
Okay.
going to make the trick play.
Right, but the last question about Dallas. So they let Kellen Moore walk and go to Los Angeles, where he's going to be with Justin Herbert. I just think that's like, watch out next year for the Chargers. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not sure.
But then they hire a new OC, or they promote someone to be OC,
Mhm.
but then announce that Mike McCarthy is going to be calling plays.
Yeah, basically the OC is going to be like the install person. It's going to be his plays, but
No, I understand how it works.
yeah.
I'm not asking you how it works.
Right,
What
right.
I'm asking you is McCarthy calling plays. Do they really think that that's a better situation than Kellen Moore calling plays?
Apparently they do. I don't think it is, but apparently they see,
Because
something.
I seem to remember the last couple of years in Green Bay, McCarthy was not very good at calling plays.
I've heard, and Rodgers is, trying to call audibles out of those plays, and they had a disagreement, and
So I don't know how well that's going to bode for them.
it'll probably work the first week, and then I don't know after that.
But the thing is, too, is we've gotten away from, kind of what J-Mac just stated. Quarterbacks were free willing calling audibles at the line of scrimmage or calling their own plays, because that's your captain on the field. That's your coordinator on the field, And
Yeah.
now a lot of teams don't let their quarterbacks do that stuff,
Peyton Manning was like a second, third coach. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
all the players like, no, I don't like that. He's going to audible, and yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But, all right. Baseball's coming, guys.
Yes.
How excited are
It
you?
is. I'm excited. Season's around the corner. I think the World Baseball Classic's coming up too, and
I think teams start reporting Monday, I think. I know it's
Monday
around Valentine's Day.
Some teams report on Monday, yes.
Yep.
Chris, give us an outlook of the season for the Rangers.
oh man, we got a lot of good players like DeGrom. If he's healthy, that's going to be a good addition. Got a new manager. I think it's kind of working out. You spent a lot of money last year to where it worked out. It wasn't the I guess ideal season, but you improved a little bit. And I think if everything goes well and DeGrom's healthy, I think it can go a little bit farther.
Who's your second pitcher?
I'm not sure. I don't think they've mentioned about the second pitcher.
I'm only asking because even if DeGrom's healthy, he's starting 32 to 33 games.
No.
No, I'm saying, okay, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying
if he's healthy, yeah.
32, 33 games. So if you don't have a number two of those 32 or 33, he's going to win, what, 20? So you're still going to have a losing season? Like, I don't think one pitcher makes that big of a difference on your team. You still have to have some solid guys behind him.
True.
I'm trying to think who the staff was last year because they had some good guys that were showing improvement, but
Okay,
well,
last year, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but the Rangers were so far down on pitchers last year that they literally had Mike Fultonowicz starting games in Texas.
Who?
Ooh, that's right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not good. Like 49ers going with the fourth, fifth string.
Yeah, it's like the 49ers going with Josh Johnson in the NFC Championship game.
So I'm not sure the order per se, but you got Martin Perez, Glenn Otto, John Gray. I know he was with the team last year.
Okay. I'll give you Gray.
You had a former Twin that was
Perez
started off pretty hot. No, there's another one. Or was Gibson the year before?
I think Gibson was on the team last year.
Oh.
You have Colwyn.
Well, Big B, what about the Twins? What can you tell us about the Twins?
Well, they're going to start 9 guys. I don't know who's going to be pitching. I mean, right now we're trying to figure out who's going to play first. We got a plethora of outfielders that can play center field, so don't hit it dead center because everybody's going to be standing there waiting for it. Correa is not going to partake in the Winter Classic, so he's going to work on getting healthy. Pitching is going to be the big question right now. Pitching, and even maybe catching right now might be the 2 big questions on how we could do. If we get Maeda back, we got maybe a solid 2-3 starter there. If Ryan pitches like he did at the start, be pretty good. I know they made a move for a couple of guys that have potential, but we'll see. So, that's all the Twins are about. Oh, if these guys all reach their potential, will be amazing.
So, a pretty big problem to have in baseball is pitching and catching.
Yeah.
They don't call it the battery for no reason.
Yeah, not everybody can be Adam Wainwright and Molina, pencil them every 5 stars.
Did you hear that story, by the way? That was kind of a silly, feel-good story. They had Wainwright on a interview about the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah.
And they said, well, what's it going to be like, being against Pujols and Yachty if they decide to play? And he's like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be against him because Yachty's called me 4 or 5 times and said I should play for the Dominican Republic. But no, those guys.
I wish he would have walked with them. I wish he would have called it a career with them.
Yeah.
Who, Pujols?
No, Attaboy, right.
Oh,
Wainwright. Called it with his two guys. Yeah, that would
Yep.
have been something. So I'll tell you, as far as baseball is concerned, I think Atlanta is going to be fine. I mean, we probably have the best. We probably have the best catcher tandem in baseball in Travis d'Arnaud and Sean Murphy. What a problem to have. We have probably when the Major League Network named the top 10 catchers in Major League Baseball right now, Sean Murphy and Travis d'Arnaud were both in the top 10, and they're both on the same team. So,
Yeah, how the heck did the Braves pull out that one? I mean,
like we have no problems at catcher. I'll tell you that. And we really don't have a lot of problems at pitcher, starting pitcher. I mean, we're pretty deep there too.
who's going to be your shortstop?
I think we're going to go with Vaughn Grissom,
Yep.
the young kid. I'm willing to give him a chance, but let's not forget, this is what everyone forgets, and I keep reminding all the Braves fans of this that are talking about us letting Swanson walk. I know he's a few years older now, but
He
Orlando
was
Arcia
streaky.
was an all-star shortstop in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he can go out there and start every day and be an all-star, but if you put Vaughn Grissom out there and he starts struggling, you have a guy on the bench in Orlando Arcia that can go out there and at least play the position and at least be a solid bat and be able to defend on the field. So that's not a bad.
But MLB All-Star, and I think we could agree, and J-Mac, maybe we have, the one All-Star per team BS has kind of got to go to the side.
Yeah.
I kind of hate that rule.
Agreed. Tell me who in Oakland right now is an all-star.
Well, there's a certain usher that might be, but outside of that, I don't know. Right now, I couldn't even tell you the starting 9 for Oakland.
Who's their starting first baseman?
Mark McGuire, is he still there?
Right?
That's pretty sad. I could probably name the starting 9 for the 88-89 Oakland A's than I can right now for the Athletics.
I know. That's crazy. Silly question from Christy. Are you guys going to watch the XFL when it starts on February 18th?
Only if you watch the Oregon Cougars football that starts on April 22nd.
That's a good answer. I like that one. I like that answer. Yeah.
I'll catch it a little bit here and there. I mean,
yeah.
I'll watch it because there won't be anything else going on. And if I got a down day where there's not anything going on and I don't have anything that I'm out doing, Oregon Cougar stuff.
You
I will
can watch
definitely.
Linda Nucci in Seattle.
There you go.
oh, is that where he's going to be at?
Yeah, he's actually the starter.
Okay. I was trying to think. There's a former Viking quarterback that was starting for the Michigan team, I think, last year.
I think
That
that's
did pretty good.
USFL. I think
Was that
that's
USFL? Okay.
So I want to share something with you guys. You brought up Mark McGuire, and I
Yeah.
thought that an interesting stat that I saw in Mark McGuire.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Which one is that?
Is that the what was it?
Yeah,
Where
I
he
think he's
scored
fine.
on something with the home runs and
Yes.
runs scored.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah.
In his career, he scored 1,138 runs, and he hit 539 home runs, which means he drove himself in half the times that he scored.
Oh, wow. That's
Think
crazy.
about how crazy that is. Now, here's another stat. We talk about this guy a lot, but I have to tell you, there's a reason we talk about this guy a lot.
Mhm.
I'm going back to Tony Gwynn for a minute. So, Pete Rose, who is most considered the greatest hitter of all time, okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not saying we do, but most people do, right?
Yeah.
Pete Rose could return to baseball.
I saw this one too.
he could go 750 for 750, and Tony Gwynn would still have a higher career batting average
That's so crazy. Wow.
than Pete Rose.
That every stat that comes up, Tony Gwynn is just mind-boggling. And I'm not taking no disrespect to Pete Rose. You know, people want to consider him the greatest hitter, but again, there's been a lot of chatter. People pull these stats up and like, how is Tony Gwynn not considered the greatest hitter of all time?
I don't know.
When it's
I
like,
really-
too,
Look,
Go ahead.
there's a Giants fan that's a longtime fan of the show. He's been on a couple times with us. Doug, you guys remember Doug Noakes? He's been on a couple times.
Yep.
He's the biggest Giants fan in the world. I've never heard the guy say a bad word about the San Francisco Giants, and he doesn't talk good about any other team. And he hates the Dodgers, so that's why we get along, because he hates the Dodgers. But I asked him what he thought, and he said that Tony Gwynn is hands down the greatest hitter he's seen in his entire life.
Oh,
And
I would.
And Doug's in his 60s, so he's seen baseball for a long time.
So he's seen most of Pete Rose's career and Tony Gwynn's. I mean,
Exactly.
where I'm 45, you know, I could, you know, recall Pete Rose in the early 80s, but I mean, Tony Gwynn is, I would say the same thing. Tony Gwynn was the best hitter of all time.
So here's another Tony Gwynn stat. Tony Gwynn had 10,232 plate appearances in his career. And he only fell behind 0-2 709 times, which is less than 7% of the time in his career. Okay?
wow.
Now, that's the first part of the stat. The
Yep.
second part of the stat is even after falling behind 0-2, he had a batting average of 267, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that average is higher than the average during his career. So that means everybody else in the league on any count didn't hit as well as Tony Gwynn did in an 0-2 count. That only happened 7% of his entire career. It's a pretty complicated stat, but think about that for a minute. That means he hit better than everybody in every situation. That's exactly what that means.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, that was Tony Gwynn, though. Everyone, the guy was just insane when he played.
Yep.
Just crazy.
And the thing is I think he would even excel right now with the shifts and stuff, because you wouldn't be able to shift him because he would hit the ball everywhere. You know.
He would be bunting down the third baseline. He would make
Oh.
them not be in the shift.
Oh yeah, you put the shift on Tony Gwynn, you put the third baseman over at shortstop. Oh, he's laying down the bunt 10 out of 10 times.
10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
And he's probably ending up on second, by the way, on that.
He
He was a
wasn't
big guy, but he was quick.
yeah.
For a big guy, he was quick. Let's say that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because the third baseman would have to rush that throw and possibly overthrow and stuff, but you know, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into a little bit of humor because, you know, we need some laughs. We always need some laughs. And Big B and I can relate to this next one.
Uh-oh.
It's, you know, I'm a good dad. I consider myself a good dad, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm not let my kids beat me on Mario Kart to raise their self-esteem good. I'm going to destroy them in Mario Kart and then say that's what you get for being a loser. Okay? Like I'm not letting them beat me. I'm not losing on purpose. I'm not taking a dive for a kid.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. They're going to
I think my son I think my son would beat me in most games nowadays.
Hey, Big B, I got a question. Do you know how many push-ups you can do right now?
Knees on the ground or a real push-up?
I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, whichever one you want to go with.
I could probably do maybe 6 normal push-ups right now.
6 normal push-ups, yeah. I don't know how many I can do either, but I'll tell you one thing. If they're the orange flavored ones, I know I could do 7 in a row.
That's a good one. I like that. I fell for that one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh God, that's funny. Here's another interesting baseball stat, real quick, by the way. I'll never understand how Cal Ripken played 2,632 games in a row. Anyone out there that can't do quick math, by the way, that's 17 consecutive years without missing a game.
Yep.
Chris, how old are you?
29.
29. So that would mean that he would have played every day from the time you were 12 until you were 29, every single game. I mean, when you see those Iron Man streaks, it's just like, honestly, it's just like Brett Favre's in the NFL. You're talking about starting 297 consecutive games at quarterback. That's 18 years where you didn't miss a game. It's crazy. Those are crazy stats that no one will ever come close to because guys can't even make it through a full season now.
It seems like baseball has weird, outrageous stats, which is cool.
Well, J-Mac, you got the Nolan Ryan one handy?
I do have the Nolan Ryan one handy.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, there's actually a couple of them, but I don't know which one in particular you're talking about.
The one where his teams scored. Yeah, that one.
So Nolan Ryan, who everyone says is one of the best pitchers ever. That's hands down. That's not a debate. I'm not saying the greatest, but one of the greatest ever.
And still have to figure out why he's never won a Cy Young.
Right, because he had 7 no-hitters. By the way, let me say that. No one's come close to that number. It's not like he has 7 and the next closest guy has 6. Nolan Ryan has 7. The next closest guy has 3.
Which I would debate. You brought that up, which made me think. I wonder, since Nolan Ryan's last no-hitter, I don't know exactly when it was, or even the last game Nolan Ryan pitched, I wonder if a team's even had 7 no-hitters since then.
I don't need to look that up. I bet you that percentage is pretty close to 0.
I would think so.
Yeah, but so that's how crazy Nolan Ryan was. And then this stat: Nolan Ryan's teams failed to score 3 runs or more in a game 288 times in his career.
And how many games did he pitch? Did it say?
It doesn't say here, but he pitched from 1969 until 1993. So do your own math. 24, 25 seasons. You're talking pitching between 20 and 30 games a year. Yep. Think about the number of games. So 288 of those that he wasn't going to win, because even if you give up 3 runs, your team's not scoring 3 runs.
Yep.
And everyone thinks that giving up 3 runs is a bad thing. By the way, a quality start in Major League Baseball is
used to be.
A quality start is pitching 6 innings or more and giving up 3 or less runs. That's a 4.50 ERA. So if you have a 4.50 or ERA or under, you're a quality pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Which I'm waiting for somebody to start tinkering with that. Since starters don't go that anymore, say it's like 5 innings and it's 4 runs or something, just to kind of make it look good, or something like that, because starters don't go past 6, 7 anymore.
No, they don't. So I brought this one up to Chris before we go around and get final thoughts and talk about the Cougars a little bit. Final thing I want to say, with the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday, I want to remind everyone there is a picture going around on Facebook, I believe is where it originated, but it has Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Eli Manning all in the same picture, and it says the end of an era. I agree. What the picture doesn't claim, and I had to go find my own research and find my own stat on this one, which I know you love, Big B, when I bring this stuff up.
Oh, I do.
That picture of those 6 quarterbacks
Okay.
represents 14 Super Bowl victories. Okay. Doesn't sound like a whole lot for 6 people, but I'll put it this way. Since 1970, well, 1968, whenever the first, so since the Super Bowl era, there's been 56 Super Bowls. So those 6 quarterbacks in that picture have won 25% of all 56 Super Bowls. That is what I'm talking about. When we're talking about the end of an era, think about that for a minute. And then if you throw Rodgers in there, he won 1 more. So that's a little over 25%. So if Rodgers is gone, that means that literally over 25% of your Super Bowl champions none of them play in the league anymore.
That's crazy.
That is crazy because you think about it. I was just thinking now, it's like, okay, we had, Bradshaw and those guys back in the 70s. But then you even talk about modern football in the 80s and 90s. You had Young, you had Montana, you had Aikman, you had Farr for one, you had Elway for a couple. But not a stretch of that. I mean, just those guys I named don't even have that many Super Bowls combined.
No. So Montana had 3. Let's just add them up. Montana had 3. Young had 1.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Aikman's got 3. So that's 7.
Yep.
Elway's got 2 and Favre's got 1. That's 10.
Yep.
So that's 10 between that list of guys. Then you have 14. So you go from one generation that had 10, and then the next generation.
When was Brady's first Super Bowl? I mean,
Like
when did those guys?
2001 or 2002?
2001.
And he would have been the starter for that one. I mean, he would have been the. Okay, so I mean, yeah, that's just mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling that we're at the end of an era, because every one of those guys in that picture, by the way, is top 10 all-time in yards, completions, attempts, touchdowns. I mean, the list goes on. Probably quarterback wins, starts. I mean, keep going. We're at the end of an era, and I don't think the younger people, definitely the younger people, are not going to understand. If I go on that list, by the way, Brady to Breeze, from Manning into the league in 1998, Big B. 98.
Had a horrible season.
Right. That's
but he didn't make the Super Bowl until 2000.
Right, that's not my point. But just hear me out on what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that list of quarterbacks started in this league in 1998.
Yeah.
And one of them has been in the league until 2022. Literally our entire adult lives. We've seen these guys playing, and now they're all done.
Yeah.
That's how bittersweet this is for all of us. Like our generation is watching their generation of quarterbacks not play anymore.
Yep.
So that's kind of how crazy that is. But
go ahead.
I was just going to say, if anyone hadn't realized that both of Carson Wentz's backups are now going to the Super Bowl.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So is Philly going to have another statue?
What's that?
Is Philly going to have another statue?
Yeah. Yeah. So, quick, I know we're not NBA guys, and LeBron surpassed Kareem for all-time scoring leader. Are we? I mean, where do you guys think he, as the GOAT talk goes? Is it fair to put him up there? Is he surpassed Jordan now? Because it sounds like a lot of people are saying yes, a lot of people are saying no.
I don't think you can surpass Jordan.
Well,
it's hard to do that, but
this is how I've answered this question, and I think this is how I'll continue to answer this question. For me,
the
GOAT conversation has to go by decade.
Yep. Especially in the NBA.
You cannot go by anything but decade. Not
Yep.
for me. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I get
So
that. Yeah.
so in the 80s, Magic Johnson's the GOAT in the 80s. You might put Larry Bird right there, 1, 2, whatever you want to
Yep.
do. But
Yep.
the 90s, it's Jordan. And it's hands down, it's not even close. There's not anyone even close to the conversation with Jordan. You can't
Nope.
say there's 1, 2, no one's in the conversation.
Yep.
2000s is a tough one because I have to pick between my favorite player of all time and Tim Duncan. And
Ooh.
probably one of the top 5 greatest players of all time in Kobe Bryant.
hmm
So that one's a tough one for me. I'm probably going to pick Duncan 9 out of 10 times because he did it a way no one else ever did. Like, he was a power forward and that dominated the game. So that's how I see that one. Then you go to the 2010s to now, and it's hands down LeBron James. There's not anyone close to LeBron.
Yeah.
So for me,
And
that's kind of how I break it down.
And LeBron's played how many years? I mean, he came into what? 2000?
2, I thought.
No,
I'm just
so
going off the top.
this is his 20th year. Wherever that.
So
puts it.
2002, 2003 ish.
That's what I
So
thought.
and the thing is a lot of people are saying, well, he's played. I mean, and this is my argument. You got LeBron that's played 20 years, who's been pretty much god of basketball since he's put on a pair of shoes. Of course, you're going to pass everybody that's played less years than you that were scorers back then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just obvious. I mean, you play more than somebody else, and you're doing the same thing they're doing. You're going to pass everybody in scoring. So you got to throw the years out of there. J-Mac, you're on the right track, I think. You got to go decade, especially with basketball.
One especially because, back then, I haven't watched a lot of basketball, but, compared to then to now, players rest a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Than
That's
probably
one.
did back then.
And the second one, Chris, the biggest stat I think that was thrown out there for me when he surpassed Kareem took 1 3-pointer in his entire career. 1.
Well, that's another thing, too, yeah.
So think about it. Kareem did it all with 2-point shots and free throws.
Yep.
How many threes is LeBron taking? Of course,
Yeah.
you're gonna do it when and even if you go on a guy like Tim Duncan to Kobe Bryant in that comparison, Tim Duncan took less than 200 threes in his entire career.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant took somewhere near 1,100 to 1,200. So who's going to score more points in that regard? So you have to look at the game as different. That's why you have to go by decade for me.
Yep.
You can't go by overall, because none. And I'll say this: none of these players today would have lived through the 90s.
No. I
'cause
think any team you put together in the 90s would demolish any teams that they got today.
So to me, is the 92 Dream Team better than any All-Star team today? Yes.
Oh,
Why? Because if you came in the hole, they were destroying you.
and that's the thing they don't do anymore.
The dirty work, they called it. They did all the dirty work. Anyway,
Yep.
All right. We rambled on a little too long for that, but don't forget, Chris, run it one more time. Here's the trailer preview of the brand new show debuting Wednesday.
Find it.
So there it is inside the Cougar Den. Catch us with that
Got a
on
bigger
Wednesday. There's a bigger picture inside the Cougar Den, the Oregon Cougars. Excited for that season to start. It's coming way faster than any of us thought. April 22nd in Seattle. I have bought my tickets. I will be there in Seattle with you, bringing you the game on the play-by-play. And it's going to be a great, great time. Come join us in that. We're going to get to some practices, different camera angles, get some stuff going on. I know Christy's going to be watching. It's going to be great. So don't forget that on Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. That's coming up. In fact, that's going to start Wednesday. We're going to start talking about the season, prepping some stuff, getting some interviews, replaying some interviews from our interview night with them. Great stuff. So we got that. That supersedes everything. Oregon Cougars, and I know you guys are probably going to get sick of the Oregon Cougars starting in April because that's probably what all of us are going to be talking about. So, but promise you don't get sick of it. It's going to be like your favorite WFA team. And I have a question for you two before I kick it to you guys to get out of here. I have a question.
Okay.
How many so there is 64 teams in the WFA between the three divisions. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know right now how many of them have a show dedicated to their team?
Oh man, that's tough.
One.
I'm going to say one.
I will tell you the answer is not one, but the answer is less than 5.
Oh wow, okay.
4.
There is a team from Boston that's owned by Robert Kraft. They're all
Oh.
over Boston TV.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard something about that. Yeah.
Then there's a team that's out of Louisiana. I believe it's the Zendaya Spice or something, however you say that. They
Yeah.
have a weekly program. And then there's a couple in the South that have so. But the Oregon Cougars are going to be only the 5th team in the WFA that has a show dedicated to just their team. So big stuff, honestly, because the NFL, every team has a show that's dedicated to them.
Oh yeah.
So we're making strides here for women's football. So watch for that. Chris, what do you got, man?
Thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. Yeah, Oregon Cougars football is coming up really soon. We'll have our show, starting this Wednesday. Sunday we'll have, morning tailgate covering the Super Bowl and probably stuff throughout the day covering, the Super Bowl. So tune in to Coast.
All right, Big B.
Yeah, exactly like Chris said. Thanks for watching. Morning tailgate. The Super Bowl show will start at 10 a.m. Central Time and carry on after that. Also on deck, season premiere is going to most likely be March 11th at 11 o'clock Central Time, and that'll be on a Saturday now. Tuesdays, we're going to try moving it and see what happens this year.
Okay, sounds great. Can't wait for that. On deck, great programming. Always want to talk baseball. So that'll be great. All right, well, I come out at the last minute here. Better late than never. For Big B, for Crispy Bacon, this is J-Mac. Guys, we couldn't do the show without you. We appreciate you all so much watching, listening. Lifelong dreams being lived in front of your very eyes. And before we sign off, I'm going to tell you these words that I'm about to say mean more to me tonight than they have in a long time. An unfortunate accident. Someone I've known a very, very long time is no longer with us as of today. So to the Fish family, you're in our thoughts. You're in our good vibes. And to you, sir, Dustin, I'll see you on the other side, brother.